today we have a little honey pot from Romania. This is the Century Arms WASR. Ooh, we're still getting ready here, but we want to remind you to be sure and hit that like and subscribe button. Let YouTube know that you prefer our content, and in exchange, we'll provide you with this cringy gun meme. What is the WASR, you might ask? Now, obviously, it's an AK pattern rifle. This is going to be an AKM, actually. The furniture is compatible here, even though you don't have that slightly different grip with the swell on the bottom. It comes with a 30-round U.S. Palm magazine. It's imported from Romania by Century Arms, and it has all the other features of the AKM pattern rifle, like the optics rail right here, and it's also got an improved trigger, and this one is chambered in 7.62 by 3.9. So I'm looking forward to seeing how the evolved WASR is going to perform. We're going to share that with you coming right up. All right, let's talk about ergonomics. So with the wood furniture here, there's some things that are just a given. In particular, when mounting an optic on this WASR, the rise of the buttstock is maybe not quite as much as it should be for me, or I've probably gone with too high of a riser with this mount for the optic here. I could probably go a little bit lower, or maybe use rings or something like that. That's on me, but it doesn't apply necessarily directly to the rifle. The grip is very small. It's probably standard to AKs, but by comparison with a lot of AR-15s and other rifles, it just has a small, thin grip. Very comfortable, very easy to use, and you can see the trigger guard. Plenty of room for you to even get a glove finger in there if need be. Now, fundamentally different from an AR, obviously, are the ergonomics of reloading. And you've got the release right here where you pull out, rock out, and then loading is, again, hooking in right here and then locking it into place. And moving up, your charging handle is located on this side. That's not negotiable. That's just the way it is. And also, because of the setup of the AK, you've got your safety right here. And that was fun. You got basically one side only here that locks everything up. The fore end, all wood furniture. Again, it doesn't have the flare at the bottom like the AKM, but it is compatible. You've got a couple of hooks here for your sling, and you also got a bayonet lug right there. You naughty boy, you. So overall, basically what you would expect for an upgraded AK-47 style rifle. But let's move on to something else. Let's take a look at the trigger on the WASR here. Now, originally, the WASRs had an issue with something called trigger slap, where the vibration after the trigger could cause pain to the finger somehow. Century Arms had some development for this version of the WASR, which has a better, improved trigger pack. We'll obviously have more details about that in the article, but for right now, let's check out and just see how it feels. So, pulling back, there's a wall right here, pretty well defined, and then we'll break the shot. I'm going to go ahead and release to reset. Very audible, very tactile, and most of the way back out. Yeah, no, fully all the way back out. There's back to the wall again to break the shot. And reset back at the end. Here we are, folks, once again, finding ourselves out at 100 yards, reaching out to see what kind of groups we can put together. Now, as far as the AK is known, not the most accurate rifle, comparably, but also not terrible either. I really don't have a whole lot of expectations for this. Initial zeroing went pretty well. I do think the group's going to be a little bit wider, but we're shooting tall ammo here, 122 grain. Now, I don't have a wide selection of ammo through logistical issues and the probability that most people will probably be running something like this. Didn't get anything else, but you head right on down to the comments section and let me know how bad I screwed up if you think it's worth it. Okay, here we go. Man, those are good shots. Now, I'm holding dead on center. No jerks, no pulls, nothing like that. The wind is absolutely flat. It's smotheringly hot right now, but that's 5 shots. Let's head down and check them out. You know, Vlad, aka Count Dracula, was rumored to have killed up to 80,000 people. Man, I'm pretty impressed with the WASR. The history of the AK, again, like we said previously, not the most accurate, but not terrible either. And that's reflected here. Our first group holding center with our 100-yard zero, got 4 right here within 3 inches of each other. And then this one out here, again, I did not call a flyer. That is just the accuracy. These were all solid breaks, holding dead center. And so our biggest gap there is about 5 inches. Pretty impressed with that. I'm gonna mark these and then we're gonna keep shooting and see what we come up with. Well, it would help if I put the safety off, wouldn't it? So we had a little bit of a wind pickup, but not that much. It was pretty soft and kind of back and forth, left, right, but I don't think it's going to have much effect on our overall performance here. All right, so we did 2 more 5-shot groups from 100 yards to kind of give us an average of our accuracy here with the WASR. And as you can see, the bulk of them are within this 4 to 5 inch group. There was a couple though, like this one down here and this one up here again, that pushed us out to 6 or 7. So on average, I would say it's around 4 to 5 MOA with a couple of exceptions, but pretty decent, especially when you consider 100 yards and the overall reputation of the AK. So let's take a look at the optic mount that we've got here. Because this is a more AKM style, it's got this rail on the side. We're able to mount up optics. We've got a Midwest Industries rail for the AK-47 platform here. And to remove it, we're just gonna push this button, pull that down, and then slide it out. And you can see that it's got springs in there that you can tension down and clamp on, and it holds onto this rail and does a pretty good job of you know, giving you an accurate platform. I've got to say, it was funny, the actual mount of this optic was already in this portion and it was level, but when I put it on this, I had to re-level it because this adapter basically makes it come at a little bit of an angle, so my crosshairs weren't perfectly flat and I had to adjust that. But still, this is a really good option if you want to put an optic on your AK-47. So I had heard that there was an issue with previous WASR versions about the irons not lining up, and I'm not sure how to take this one. You can see within the shroud here in the front post is definitely oriented to the right, to the shooter's right. It's not center, but I just removed that optic. We're going to try the irons out now and see how they perform. We're having a lot of fun with the WASR here, but head over to pewpewtactical.com for the full review and all the details. Final thoughts on the Century Arms WASR. Now, this is a pretty cool rifle. I'm not terribly familiar with AKs, but I enjoyed testing this one out and I learned a lot about them. You know, slowly the mag reloading process was getting better for me. It definitely takes some work. I don't like the fact that when you shoot your last shot, you don't know. You basically pull the trigger and you get a click, and that's when you know to reload. Maybe that's because I'm not as familiar with this type of rifle, so I had to adapt to that. I like the comfort of knowing that I can feel when my last shot goes through on my AR. But again, overall, good quality rifle. I think pretty decent groups. At 100 yards, we were averaging, 4 to 5 inches, and then, with a couple of outliers in the 7-inch realm. 30 round capacity, that's, pretty standard for the AK. I think, interestingly, we had some issues with a few different magazines. The magazine that comes with it is a US Palm. It fed very well, and had a couple of P-mags that work extremely well with it. But some of the older US Palms that I had just lying around wouldn't fit very well, wouldn't load up, and some of the older steel stamped AK mags wouldn't feed into this thing either. So that was kind of interesting. The use of the rail, the Midwest Industries adapter, and the 1:6 LPVO from Primary Arms, pretty cool to be able to modernize yet an older platform like this. It did get very hot. It's still hot from all the shooting that we've done, but it's been pretty reliable. There was at least one situation where I did a reload and I just had a dead trigger. A couple of times, couldn't quite figure it out. I couldn't tell if it was the rounds or not because we lost in the grass. The grass is getting kind of tall out here, but other than that, really good reliability. Everything that we put through it, which has been all strictly Tull ammo, I know, but it's all been reliable and pretty accurate. I'm fairly impressed. Now, the price for this is right around $1,000. Depending on where you look, it might be a little lower. Some places might be a little bit over. That's going to do it for the Century Arms WASR. Thank you for watching.